Chapter 8 The Dawn of Unity. Under the dawn's first light, Arinze stood before his people, not as a conqueror, but as a leader reborn. The air was thick with anticipation, and the vibrant colors of the new banner fluttered in the gentle breeze, woven with the patterns of all tribes, a symbol of unity. The sun cast a warm glow over the gathering, illuminating the faces of warriors, elders, and children alike, each reflecting a mixture of hope and uncertainty. "We were never meant to be enemies," he declared, his voice steady and resonant. "A warrior fights for his land, but a leader fights for his people." The crowd erupted in a chorus of agreement, their spirits lifted by his words. For the first time in generations, the lands of Nanyuki stood unbroken, and the legend of the Leopard clan was reborn, not through war, but through wisdom. As Arinze spoke, he felt the weight of history upon his shoulders. The scars of conflict ran deep, and the memories of loss haunted the hearts of many. Yet, he sensed a flicker of change in the air, a collective yearning for peace that had long been suppressed. He envisioned a future where children could play without fear, where the tribes could share their stories and traditions, weaving a rich tapestry of culture and strength. But he knew the path to unity would not be easy. Old wounds would take time to heal, and the shadows of the past would not easily be cast aside. But just as the atmosphere began to shift toward celebration, a sudden chill swept through the crowd. The laughter faded, replaced by a tense silence. Arinze's gaze shifted to the horizon, where dark clouds gathered ominously, swirling like a tempest. A sense of foreboding gripped him, and he instinctively reached for the hilt of his sword, though he knew this was not a time for violence. From the shadows of the trees, a figure emerged, cloaked in darkness. The crowd gasped, and Arinze's heart raced as he recognized the emblem on the figure's chest, a symbol of the ancient sorcerers who had once ruled the lands with fear and manipulation. The figure stepped forward, revealing a face both familiar and unsettling. It was Kira, a former ally turned adversary, her eyes glinting with a mix of malice and desperation. "You think you can unite these tribes?" Kira sneered, her voice dripping with disdain. "You are a fool, Arinze. The blood of our ancestors still stains this land, and the darkness will never allow peace to flourish." Arinze's resolve hardened. "We will not be ruled by fear any longer. The past does not define us. Our choices do." He felt the weight of Kira's words, the echoes of ancient grievances that had long divided their people. He understood that her motivations were rooted in a desire for power and control, a longing to reignite the fear that had once given her strength. Kira had always believed that unity would dilute the power of the sorcerers, and she was determined to maintain the divisions that had kept her people in line. Kira laughed, a chilling sound that echoed through the clearing. "You underestimate the power of the old ways. The spirits of the land are restless, and they will not allow your unity to stand. You have awakened forces you cannot control." Her connection to the ancient sorcerers was a dark legacy, one that she clung to fiercely. She thrived on the chaos and division, believing that only through fear could she maintain her influence over the tribes. With a flick of her wrist, Kira summoned a swirling vortex of shadows that danced menacingly around her. The ground trembled, and the sky darkened further, as if the very elements were responding to her call. Arinze felt the energy shift, a palpable tension that threatened to unravel the fragile peace he had just begun to forge. In that moment, he realized the true battle lay ahead, not just against Kira, but against the ancient forces that sought to keep the tribes divided. He turned to his people, their faces a mix of fear and determination. "Stand with me. We will face this darkness together." He felt the weight of their gazes, the hope and fear intertwined, and he knew that his vision for a united Nanyuki depended on their courage. But before he could rally them, Kira unleashed a wave of dark energy that surged toward the crowd. Arinze raised his sword, channeling the strength of his ancestors, but the shadows enveloped him, pulling him into a void of uncertainty. As the darkness closed in, Arinze felt himself being torn from the world he knew, his vision fading to black. In that moment of despair, a voice echoed in his mind, a whisper of ancient wisdom, urging him to remember the strength of unity. He grappled with the internal conflict that raged within him, torn between the warrior he had been and the leader he aspired to be. The desire for peace clashed with the instinct to fight, and he felt the weight of his past pressing down on him. Suddenly, he found himself standing in a vast, ethereal landscape, surrounded by the spirits of the ancestors. They looked upon him with solemn eyes, their presence both comforting and daunting. "You must choose Arinze," one spirit intoned, their voice resonating through the air. "Will you embrace the light of unity, or will you succumb to the shadows of the past?" As the spirits faded into the mist, Arinze felt a surge of power within him, but he was torn between two worlds, the realm of the living and the realm of the spirits. The fate of Nanyuki hung in the balance, and the choice he made would determine whether the dawn of unity would rise or if darkness would reign once more.